Westwood High is represented by team captain Jammella Blackwood. To calcite deposits suspended from cave roofs.
Stalactites.
Correct.
Westwood High is represented by team captain Jammella Blackwood. Westwood High, geography. Which country is located north of Trinidad and Tobago, northeast of Venezuela, and southwest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
That is Grenada.
Is correct.
4 minutes on the clock, please. Our first question comes from Bible knowledge. Name the 4 major prophets of the Westwood.
Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel.
Correct.
Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II.
Correct. Bible knowledge. Whom did the Apostle Paul say had forsaken him because he loved Westwood?
Demas.
Correct. This present world. Biology. What is the name? And that's the final bell.
So while going to school, did it affect your academics in any way, shape or form though?
It didn't. I still managed to stay on top of my game. People usually believe quiz helps with school, but the subjects that I did in quiz were not school-based.
Oh.
So I still had to maintain a balance, and then I had leadership positions as well at school as prefect. And anybody who knows Westwood or knows how Westwood leadership system is set up, if you're a prefect, it's not just a badge, it's a whole lot of work.
It's like a principal.
You report to the principal. Yeah. So it was a lot of work. In upper 6, I was also deputy head girl. That was a lot of work. I was peer counselor. That was a lot of work. So balancing all of that, I don't know. As I said earlier, this is my identity. You say school, you're supposed to see Jammella. You see Jammella, you're supposed to see school. You're supposed to see academics. So even though it got tedious at times, I just was focused on maintaining my identity.
I can think about a couple students right now where is that I can just imagine you being at school, being like right now. Like, so you made the transition to sixth form. Then after sixth form, of course, well, while in sixth form, I know you're thinking about what's next for you, right? So you're doing school science and all this. What happened next?
So from an early age, from as early as primary school, I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Really?
Yes. Every career day, I was dressing as a teacher, and I was discouraged. Even my own teachers discouraged me. Like, you're too brilliant for this. Do medicine.
Jesus.
Do this. Do that. You're wasting your talent. You're wasting your brains. You're wasting your intelligence. But I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't know of what until probably like high school. I knew I wanted to do math.
Yeah.
But I always felt as if this is what my purpose is. This is what I'm called for.
And boy, just to add to what you're saying, because we follow each other up on social media. So one of the things I respect about her, I've never said it to you, I respect the fact say, I can't see the passion. Each other with us passionate about them work. It's my things that she posts, I'm like,
yeah, my Instagram is slowly becoming teacher related.
Yeah. I think at this point, you probably should just start a page dedicated to teaching or something like that. Sorry. Probably start a YouTube channel about teaching, because talk about teaching a whole lot. You get what I'm saying? And talk about our students and all these things. And not in any derogatory way or anything to tear them down.
I love my babies.
She love her. She call her babies. Or even the big one, them she call her babies. And that's something that is good. And that's something that is necessary especially in that space, because you're dealing with secondary school students. Yeah. But before we get there, being the teacher, you had to go to university, of course, to get your degree and stuff. Right. What was your degree in?
So because of just everybody discouraging me, after I'm giving it 1 year, afterwards they're gonna realize I don't want to do this, blah blah. So I just said, all right, for safety purposes, let's just come up with a backup plan. So I was good at math. Otherwise, anyways, I was good at math, and so I just said I'm not gonna do a bachelor's in education. That's why I didn't even go to a Teachers College.
Oh.
So I chose to do a Bachelor of Science at UA, Maths, but then with Education Studies. So it's like I'm getting a diploma certified for teaching while simultaneously doing way more math courses than the average Teachers College student would be doing.
So in that way, you probably could make the transition easier
I
into
know that
something
if I
else.
want to come out of teaching, I still have a degree in math that I can use.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you see, she even maths up them things in a brilliant way. And some people, like me for example, I never know what I want to do in my life. I know say I want to do something. I just want to do something. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about journalism, I think about graphic design, I think about psychology. And I was like, yo, what am I going to do? Lord, lead me. And so he did.
Maybe I got led earlier than you did. And that's fine. People take different times to figure out what they want, figure out what they... Because I guess people just don't spend enough time trying to figure out who they are, what they want out of life. They wait till it's too late.
That's a vital.
But remember, I find my identity from early. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I was good at academics, because I knew I wanted to be in the education system eventually.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I'm happy you chose that road, education road, simply because it's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Because you could have been a doctor, you could have been a lawyer, you could have been a scientist, whatever it is. Who knows? You probably still might, because life not done it. I one thing me learn to say, never say never,
never
right?
say never.
And but at least at this appointed time, you would have chosen something that you're comfortable with, and it's not as if you lack the capacity to do what those things or those areas require.
I just lack the passion.
They just lack the passion, and that's something that's very important when choosing a career path, right? So there you have it. So you chose math firstly, but a minor in education, you say?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And while going to university, what was that like for you? Because as brilliant as it been, one thing we know, we humble people in university life.
University was rough. First of all, it was in the COVID period, so my first 2 years were online.
Yeah.
My first year, I had my first failure.
Oh, Jesus.
And first semester, Math 1141. Still
You know
remember the
maths
course code.
What's
Math. But online teaching was just not working for me. I was not learning online.
Yeah.
The content was a big jump from pure math. And just being trapped in four walls, like the COVID era was awful.
Yeah.
So I had my first failure. I failed a course. And you know, failures work. You have to do them over. I had to do it over in the summer. You know, my crash. Because my identity is lost again. The identity is lost again. And it's not like I got A's, and then failed. No, I had A's and B's. That's not my identity. And then otherwise, I was struggling with my identity otherwise as well. Not just like academics. It was just a phase of who am I outside of this arena. So failure, and then having to break the news to my mom, having to break the news to other people. Like I remember particularly somebody said it was serious.
Wait, it wasn't serious.
Listen.
Sorry.
Underline it.
Alright, sorry. I apologize. Fine.
So I remember even somebody, this was even a family member, it's not somebody close to me, and they said something about fail, and I said, yeah, I failed one course, and the person looked at me like, you could have failed course, and that breaks you. It crushes you because you're not used to.
See, now make me get emotional. Like
you're not used to hearing these, like the look of shock, the ridicule. Like I had people saying, yeah man, now you're learning, you're going like. So I had it from all angles. It's not
really?
Yeah.
So you had persons like, it's like them glad to
no, get humbled. Yeah. So I had it from all angles. It wasn't just, you know, you're a black girl, it will cover. That's the worst thing about standards and expectations. Once you don't meet them, people forget that you've been meeting it for the past 10 years of your life, the past 7 years of your life. So,
I mean, way more for you because you were doing it from basic school level, come straight up. And
so I was out of it. I remember like crying nights on end, like even having to redo it in the summer. I usually cry before I go to class because I'm like, what is this? This is not who I am. And then I fail again in second year. I fail another course in second year, and it was also a math course. So I started questioning a lot of things. I started questioning so many things. Are you sure you want to teach math? Because how you fail the subject that you want to teach? Never really thinking that when you're going to a high school classroom, you use half of the things. And then I also was reminding myself that you're not doing a teaching degree, because your teacher's degree teaches you how to teach high school level math. I was doing maths what engineers and those kind of people will be using. So, but I was really hard on myself, and I was depressed. My mental health took a plummet.
And
it just started going down.
It's understandable because, as you say, the expectations were high. And then, boy, some of the sad realities of our society. Like, you have persons who who will be happy about your downfall in a sense.
Yeah.
Despite them cheering you on at certain points in life, you find that the same persons will, seek to, glorify that very moment. Them think you're a fall. And a fall you're a fall, and just think you're a fall.
Sure.
And I think it does a lot to show who they are, number one, and who you are.
Yeah.
So thank God you made it nevertheless.
I made it.
But it was something that was stressful for you. And naturally we fall in that category naturally as people too, because if you can recall, even when I was asking you earlier, I was like, one thing me know, college humble anybody, you get what I'm saying? But
it humbled me.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say humble me, because it's not like I went there feeling like I'm better than anybody or whatever. But humbled me
in the sense
that I realized that I had to learn to be okay with failures. And I think I needed that, because there's no way I can go through this life always winning.
Yeah.
I think I needed that lesson to learn that it's okay to have failures, and it's okay to bounce back from your failures as well.
I think that, and God being who He is, I turn to as preaching ceremony and just say, like these are moments I believe that He will definitely give to us, especially when He holds us to a high regard. Even when we get the true sense of what life is.
What life is all about.
Yeah, when you have this perception needs, things perfect, and then you go and see it for real, and then say, oh.
That was university for me. Nothing about university went as I planned, because I wanted to graduate the first class honors, and I did not, and that was another season of muddy notes. University was my season to learn, to accept that it's okay to not be on top. You will be fine.
Jammella, said that's when for me personally, I don't know if I think, I'm not ever gonna pretend. I know, I have this relaxed thing, but I'm not excited myself about the average things that people excite. It's about academics and anything that people excite themselves about. When I used to get A's and stuff, I'm happy, but when I started getting the B's, the C's, the D's, the F's.
Oh my God.
When I started getting those in high school, I felt bad because, and probably like how you felt, well, probably not as much as how you felt, because you were maintaining number one, number two, always. But for me, I knew what getting probably 10, I know I was in the top 5 and probably, top 10 in general, because probably I get 6th 1 year too, I don't know, right? In primary school, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And making the transition into high school, I was like, I came to D Camp down high school where I did happy figure, because I get my A average for coming here, so I glad figure here, so. And the moment I went there, one of the first things that felt like failure to me at that point in time was, them sent me in the lowest, brightest class.
The lowest stream.
The lowest stream class. So I'm like, what? Say me, I left primary school as big A student, come and do this. And it made me feel away. And I think that's probably one of the things that pushed me in a particular path. Because everybody deal with stress differently. Like for me, probably I dealt with it in the manner that, alright then, cool. Me start feeling, alright then, 5 minutes go down and feel everyone. And I started embracing things that I shouldn't have been embracing, And then, I guess, I don't even know. It was a dean of discipline that, one of my foreign teachers at first had actually gave me a talking. And it wasn't even much about academics. It was more so about my behavior. Boy, I used to fight and anything there, right? And, I made a transition after that. I say all that to say, sometimes we put this great level of expectations on people. And when it is that we don't meet those expectations, what happens after that is that we tear them down. And then because we tear them down, some of them stay down and they never come back up.
Please don't do that.
There we go. Please don't. Because I remember speaking to some high schoolers just recently. And I remember one of the young ladies said to me, they answered a question that I had for them. And when the young lady was like, I said, but you're bright, man. So I was like to the guidance counselor, thank you for giving me this brilliant group. And the young lady was like, them say we're done, say sorry. I take my things make laugh. The young lady was like, she said, well loud Trina. I said, I done this one. I said, yeah, but have you accepted that? And you could have said she already accepted it.
Yeah.
You understand me? So in a fair head, that's her identity.
Yeah, I see that.
And you could have seen it. Like, I'm like, look at that. That's just a deceptive thing right there. So of course, this is why she's the most wise. The rest one in the room now. This is why she's the one way not afraid to get the attention and she's willing to call herself done. So I'm like, no. So go back to the point. Stop labeling kids. Stop labeling people from too early.
Please too.
Because these labels stick with them and sometimes tear them down. And everybody recover as well as Jammella did. No, I'm just saying, it's not everybody
that's true,
recover.
That's true.
And I've recovered to a great extent as well. Not everybody recovers.
Not everyone recovers.
You understand me? Some
Especially
people,
if it's done at a young age.
there we go. Especially with something with them consistent.
Yeah,
You can imagine if your family and your friends they tell you that from a long time.
Yeah, mine came later on in life.
There we go. That's when you already established that no, I'm greater than this.
Yeah.
So for some who have been hearing negative things for a while,
takes
it just takes a toll on them. So back to it. You're in university. You failed 2 years in a row. Well, 2 courses and 2 years in a row. But nevertheless, you kept fighting.
Yeah, I did.
And eventually you got that degree because you mentioned that. You never get the class.
But I got that degree.
You get it. And I'm pretty sure, trust me, if you go back right now and say you're gonna do it, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get the honors where you want. Right. But another thing you try, I said what I said. I think that sometimes we put too much expectations on ourselves as it regards to even how it is that we accept education. We start focusing on what we can do and how good we can look to the public rather than what it is that we can learn and use it in our practical lives. And I've seen it so many times. I've been in the high school system, as I said before, and I've seen where students their focus is just on, hey, we need to get A's, we need to get A's, we need to get A's. And as you say, you break down when you get the A's.
But then what I might not have mentioned is just the fact that it wasn't just only this is my identity, but it was also my way out. From like primary school, I knew that based on my financial background, I had to stay on top of things because I knew my family could not afford to send me through school. So somebody else money from a scholarship would have to do it.
So it's a scholarship, like you got a scholarship at what point in time?
Alright, so the earliest scholarship I can remember getting was in grade 5 from VMBS.
Oh, nice. Big up
VMBS all the time. I got another one when I was supposed to transition. That was from Sagicor.
Alright, big up Sagicor too. You can't all bank the man place. Finance institution.
Just those two.
Alright.
But then it was, especially when I was living in St. Mary.
What you call financial issues though? Because
financial issues, and anyone who is watching this who think they knows me because they just see me show up every day with a smile might be shocked at this, because contrary to popular belief, I'm not from a rich family. I was not from a live comfortable family either. I know what it's like to go to school without lunch money or without lunch, and when it's lunchtime you just go outside, go play and act like you just don't hungry.
Jesus.
I know what it's like to drink sugar and water before you go to school with half a bulla. I know what it's like to eat rice or banana alone for dinner. I know what it's like. And I know what it's like to not have light and have one uniform. My mother make sure she wash it every evening and heat the iron on the stove top and iron it. And people, because I don't look like that, people always think I'm rich. But I was from a very poor background.
I'm happy you share that, right? Because it is something that overtakes us as a society as well. Quite often, and this is one of the rationales behind me even starting to validate this thing. Wanting to inspire others, not just as regards to academics and businesses and all these things, but in all sectors and areas of life, really. Because there's going to become a time where we start talking about relationships and all these things, but we talk about academics and business ventures and all these things right now. And I think one of the perceptions at times is that the richest persons are the ones that get the best access to education. To be honest, when you analyze the politics of it, it happens to a great extent.
It does, but the difference between those people and the people who want it, they take it for granted, and so they don't maximize it in most cases. They just get everything handed to them on a platter.
Yeah, and then I think for us, as you said before, I put myself in it, because that's something that people have held, I think, against me in some circles. People generally think that I come from a rich background.
I get it all the time. I don't really try and correct people because they'd have to go into the roots of the story.
Every time them say it.
Every time they say it. But I was never from a rich family. I was never from a comfortable family. I mentioned earlier about the bus, and the comment was probably saying like, oh, that's a rich lifestyle. Because even traveling to high school, I had to take a bus. But this was never my mother's money.
As you said, sponsorship and stuff like that. From
grade 7, when I passed for Westwood, one of the first questions questions my mom asked was, how am I going to send you to Westwood?
Yeah.
And remember, I'm a twin. How am I going to send your brother to school as well? That's one of the first questions that she asked. I almost did not go to Westwood because just the distance plus Westwood fees are higher than other schools because it's half private. I almost didn't go, and that's when I knew that I had to like scholarship the thing there.
Yeah.
I had to get sponsorship. So my very first sponsorship, not just a cash check, a check being handed to you, was it was from private sponsors. So there was a couple who had twins and one of their son died, and so to honor him, they wanted to sponsor one student from my primary school through high school. So I started grade 7. My mother has never had to pay a school fee at Westwood for me. She has never had to buy books for me.
Yeah.
The only thing she needs to provide for me is lunch. She has never had to pay my bus. The bus will carry me to and from school. She never had to pay that. It was sponsorship, and that's why I also knew I had to stay on top of the game. If I was flunking out, nobody would want to sponsor me. You get what I'm saying?
It wasn't just you have to go to school type. It wasn't a simple thing.
It wasn't as simple as that. This is either this or I have to go to next school, or I might have had to stop going to school because from we were young, our mother, she tells us all the time she had to leave school because her mom died. She was from a poor background, and she tells us education is it. Focus on your books, everything else can come after, but you need your education at least. So this is why
big up yourself, mother.
This is why I was intent on it. And a lot of people don't know it. They just consider me, oh, you're the overachiever. But for me, this is my livelihood. It's like going to work because you need food to put on your table. It was for me, go to school, go do your best, because this is how you get sent to school.
And you know, in a sense, I'm happy you shared it. Thank you for sharing, by the way. It's because what it says is like, I guess you can compare it to, as you said, somebody working.
Yeah.
You are somebody who is independent. Just thinking about somebody who's working now, like you're independently out there. You can't just go back to your family yard and say, oh, me not the money, me broke, take care of me. You can't do that. You have to be like, oh, I still have to try to work. No matter how small the job is, you still have to try to do something to earn a living.
Yeah.
And in that space, in that time, from a young age, you had to understand, yo, I can't just go play at school just like everybody else. The distance from school just to go is over 1.5 hours, you say. And yet still you have to just puff up, go through that, and go to school. And at the same time, you were embracing scholarships. That's something that not many young people understand at that point in time, because they're just thinking how people view the world at a young age is like the average person at that is that, yo,
money grow on tree,
money grow on tree, almost like that. Yeah, man, mommy have it now.
And that's why I think parents should let now I'm not saying let your children suffer like you, but let them know that you're making sacrifices. Don't just
show them the sacrifice.
Show up for them and make them believe that you actually have it. And that's one thing my mother never did. It's not like she take it and rub it in our face and better off, but she say like, Jammella, you know this is how the thing sits, you know you have to do this. And that's probably what made me appreciate it more, because people when they hear scholarships, they probably just think transition from high to university. Remember my first scholarship was from grade 7. From primary school. It was that bad because most parents can find it to send their children to at least high school.
But I mean, you were traveling a great distance from even primary school too, because you were leaving from St. Mary, just in the middle, probably around the middle of St. Mary to go to Victories primary.
Yes, right? So
it was really academics that pushed her to send you to Victories.
Yeah, I would think. She think it was a better academic atmosphere than the schools that were closer.
Trust me, you see, them parents I don't want me know say God leading. Like God say, yeah man, you are gonna be a parent and you need to be a parent. Because she could have just said, me not have it. Go to school down the road.
Yeah,
but she was thinking about the academic part of it. Oh, this school might be better.
She wanted the best. Yeah.
Awesome. And it's to her.
Yeah, I remember this lady even leaving her job because at one point, because of her work hours, we had to come home late. We had to stay with a neighbor, and then that started getting unsafe and stuff. She quit her job. Like, I don't know if nobody in this world has taught me faith. I think my mother has. Because how can you have 2 children going to school and quit your job because you need to make sure that they are safe? Yeah. But little things like that, I saw the sacrifices, I understood the sacrifices, and I knew that I have to
put some sacrifice in it.
I had to put some sacrifice in it.
And I think, as you rightfully said, I don't think everybody realizes that or understands that from a young age. So it must have been God would have placed that on your mind to know, say, yo, you have to devote yourself to this, because some person go through similar situation, and the results aren't necessarily the same
The
because
same, yeah.
focus changed somewhere along the line. But we're grateful that you're here, talking to us and validate this, and adding inspiration to the storyline and all these things. So I'm happy that you're here to share it. But you move from getting the scholarship in primary to high school. While being at high school, did you ever feel like giving up though, because of the financial constraints?
Oh, not at high school. That's also one of the reasons why I loved quiz. I didn't mention it before because I never planned to divert into this. But
look at God.
right.
Yeah.
Being at school on camps and boarding was easier for my mom because boarding I get fed.
Yeah.
I get 3 meals daily. Well, the lunch was paid for by the scholarship, but being at school, I got food. My mother never have to worry about me having money or anything like that. Probably like just for break or so in the days, but on camps not necessarily. So being away, it was easing a burden for her because at the same time she still has my brother to think about. He wasn't on a scholarship, so she still had fund everything for him. So school was also my safe haven because it's where the least money was spent.
Yeah. But you were still being taken care of, but you never have to spend.
I didn't have to spend the money. I remember students even saying to me, but you now pay board and money, but you're always there board. Sometimes it made me feel away because I thought about it, even before others started saying it to me. I felt it because I'm saying I'm living amongst these students who have to be paying way more than I am, and I'm getting the same treatment as them, and it made me feel like I'm probably taking advantage of the situation, but it was what it was.
And I mean, you see, people can say anything, because they can say it from a naive standpoint, like they don't know what the truth behind.
And they didn't know because I didn't tell anyone. This is probably like the first time I'm openly talking about.
Boy, I appreciate you. So trust me, Listen, trust me,
This is probably the first time I'm talking about like my financial background in such depth.
And I'm happy you're sharing it because, as I said before, it is something that we do as people. We say these things to people at times that we don't even understand the magnitude of what it is that we're saying to them, how it affects them in any way, shape, or form. So they might have looked at you as the girl who just take advantage of the school resources, but you're one of those girls that needed it.
Needed the school
but just that it wasn't being shown. And even being in the school system, I remember there were instances like those where you see a child and you probably feel like, say, oh, but that child, they have it over the one, man, because them come to school neat every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, does the need for help actually have a look? Does it have a look? Like, does it have a sound? Does it have,
Yeah.
You know, have none of them something really and truly, if you look at it. Because sometimes
some
the person
might show it, but others
and some of the times while being in the field, what you realize is that sometimes the ones that don't look like them need help are them need help the most. So again, shout out to Westwood because they were helping. No, they were literally a destiny helper without even recognizing it. And probably if it is that this video actually gets to them in any way, shape or form, then they would realize that they were actually helping out somebody. And look at that, you ended up helping them too by being a part of the school trials quiz team for 3 consecutive years. No, that's you helping them too, because you build the name of the school.
You have a point.
I'm pretty sure some little pitney somewhere see her, see a little girl up on it and say, she look clean. Oh, she gets for the me want to do it too. You know what I'm saying? You inspired someone. I'm pretty sure you did that. So thank you for sharing.
So it wasn't all perfect, and just because I'm brown and have a little waves on my head top,
trust me,
it does not mean that I had it.
She look coolly rich. Coolly rich.
Wow.
Good for the English. In case you have a dictionary, specifically Javaune's dictionary.
I did not, and I've had moments too along that whole scholarship journey where I thought this was it. Transitioning into upper 6, we could not get in contact with my sponsors anymore. The lady who was the middleman, big up Auntie Lindsay all the time. She works at Sandals Foundation. You probably know her. She got awarded just the other day for her humanitarian work.
I don't know her, but big her.
Wonderful woman. Anywhere in the hotel industry in St.Ann, Ochip, they have to know Lindsay Isaacs.
No, I don't reach them when I go hotel. That's why I don't know.
Yeah, probably you know her in the community. She does a lot of outreach.
I'm going to know her face for true, but I just don't know.
Yeah, probably. So I spoke to her because she was the middleman between the sponsors and I, but she was also integral part of Sandals Foundation. And I spoke to her when she couldn't get in contact with them, and she's like, Jammella, hurry up and write a letter, state your need. She's like, they don't usually accept persons on the program at this late the stage in high school. They usually take them from grade 7 to grade 11. That's the Sandals Foundation.
Yeah.
I am going into the upper 6.
Sandals, big up yourself, you know.
All
Now I
the
feel like I
time.
got a book or something we do. I don't know. I don't have money right now. What I
All
say?
the time.
Yeah, big up on
So
yourself.
she said, I can't guarantee, but the most you can do is to write it. Because this is not what they usually do. It's out of the norm.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter expressing my need, and
There goes the faith again, you know.
I did.
Alright.
They accepted me into the program for just 2 years. Well,
Right.
not just 2 years.
Right, 2 years.
The right 2 years. It was not just 2 years
Yeah.
because they ended up taking me straight to university.
What you say?
But yes,
no, big up
so
Sandals
when
again. Big
I
up on yourself
finished
again,
high
Sandals.
school, no funds, apply for the people in program, no hall fee. Maybe COVID was a blessing in disguise because
Yeah.
I could not, I would have to live on the roadside. No hall fee, no have the first dime for my school fee. And everyone was doing a summer job. You know that job that Heart does with kids for the local summer for like 4 weeks and get a little stipend. I was doing that, and I remember I got a call. It's like, Sandals Foundation will take you on for university. You just have to maintain the grade. And I did that, but then COVID took a big drop. So in my final year, when I was supposed to start final year now, I was told that I need to seek other sponsorship because a lot of sponsors dropped out because of the economy and what COVID did to it. A lot of sponsors, they were losing a lot of sponsors, and so they probably could not facilitate me for my final year. And I started free.
Understandably too.
Because, I mean, this is my last year. And not only that, the last year was the year I need a hall fee too. Because the last year is when school opened up back face to face. So it's not just school fee again. You need hall fee. And I was
You probably
going
think to yourself,
crazy.
what kind of mad business in the last year?
Every scholarship I saw, I applied. And all of them were unsuccessful. And oh my God. And I remember I applied to the people in hall, I get accepted, I gave them moving date, and you have to pay at least half before you move in. And I remember 3 days before, so after I was speaking back with Sandals Foundation, I'm like, please, I'm not getting through with anybody else, please. And they said they'll try to see what they can do. They said if it's even to offset like the first semester, and then I try to find my way from there instead of just dropping the bomb on me in the middle of August. And 3 days before the moving date, I got a call, and I saw a message. I wasn't home and I saw a message, and she was like, I got a call, and she was like, have you seen your email? Have you checked your email? So I said no. So she said, check your email. So when I checked it, I saw a document, a PDF. So in my head, I'm like, they had promised to give me I don't remember what it's called. It's like a promissory note to state that we will pay this. We're not giving you a check right now, but we will pay this.
So at least the institution.
Yeah, the institution knows. I thought that's what I was getting. When I opened it, it was a receipt for $530,000.
Yeah.
Full. It's not even one semester. The
come
full.
on, say the tuition have been one semester.
No, it was the tuition for the full year plus my hall fee for the full year. The same people who told me that they might have to drop me.
Yeah.
And it was because I was perfect. I failed 2 courses. I got B's, I got A's. But one thing about Mrs. Isaacs, she was my mentor. Still is. I remember one of the time when I failed, I took forever to send the people my transcript because they want your transcript. I took forever. I'm going to figure out how I can block this out. I can't block it out because it's in the middle.
You weren't proud of it.
Yeah, they fail. How can I tell these people who spend so much thousands of dollars, almost $1 million? They have spent over $1 million on me that I failed.
Yep.
And I remember her vividly saying to me, she says, it's okay to fail. Just don't let your failures define you. And once you bounce back, don't let your failures define you. It's fine. She said, your failures don't define you, and we won't define you by your failures. Still remember that that's exactly what she said to me. And I worked it up. I wanted the first class, and as when I got the degree and I need to send it to them, I said, Jesus, I'm gonna get the first degree after them send me so much money yet. I hate that feeling of feeling as if I'm disappointing these people who spend so much money on me.
I tell you what, like, I don't know the full in it, but I still can see the victory in it because at least it still bears as a victory story in their head. Because if it is that they would have given up, who knows what the outcome would have been.
And this is just them paying my school fee and my hall fee. I moved on to hall without money. I didn't have the first time. Remember, you're moving, you're living there, you need things to live with, you need food. So I had university days where my roommate did not know, say, my belly beside her rumbling on the next bed. I had days when I'm looking at the little cupboard and I say, alright, one thing that tuna here can stretch for 3 days. And people would usually say, oh, just go work and work while you're studying. And it's not because I was hype or I felt better than the people who could do it. I knew myself, and I knew that if I did that, if I took that on, my grades would plummet.
To God be the glory, we did it. Yeah, so greatness is within us. It's just for us to recognize that and actually just let it flow as best as possible. Ms. Blackwood, I thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for allowing me to share my story.
You said a whole lot of inspiring things. I'm pretty sure it will touch somebody out there. I don't know if I can chop up the whole interview, but I'm pretty sure that it will definitely touch somebody, inspire somebody. If I even myself will watch it over. Right? So thanks a lot for being my guest. I hope it is that you will continue on the path to success and continue inspiring others. Because now you're in the teaching field, so now you're
inspiring
imparting
others,
and inspiring. Big up on yourself. Thank you. If it is that you made it this far in the discussion, please leave a comment, share the video, and like if you like. If you don't like it, put a dislike because you are right as well. Much love. God bless.